My arrogant boss fired me on Christmas Eve just so he could steal the software I built from scratch. He thought I was just a dumb IT guy who wouldn't fight back. So, I took my code back, watched his company crumble to the ground, and legally bankrupted him. Here is exactly how I did it. For some background, I worked as a senior systems developer for a mid-sized logistics company in the US. Let's call the CEO, Richard. Richard was the classic terrible boss. He drove a brand new Porsche but refused to give anyone a raise for 3 years, claiming the company was struggling. My job was to manage their aging dispatch software, which was a complete nightmare. It was slow, constantly crashed, and cost the company thousands of dollars in delayed shipments every single week. I told Richard we needed a new system. He laughed in my face and told me to just fix the old one, because he wasn't spending a dime on new tech. So, in my own free time, strictly on my personal laptop and on weekends, I decided to build a completely new dispatch system from the ground up. It took me 8 months of sleepless nights, but I finally finished it. I called the software Apex. It was blazing fast, automated half the dispatcher's workload, and practically eliminated routing errors. I brought my personal laptop to work and gave Richard a live demonstration. I offered to license the software to the company for a very reasonable monthly fee. Richard's eyes lit up when he saw it. But instead of agreeing to my offer, he smiled and said, "This is great work. We will install it on the company servers today. Consider this your bonus for the year." I froze. I told him absolutely not. I built this at home, on my own equipment, and I owned the intellectual property. Richard's face turned red. He started screaming, telling me that anything an employee creates belongs to the company. He demanded I hand over the source code immediately. When I refused and packed up my laptop, he fired me on the spot. He told security to escort me out and yelled that his lawyers would sue me into oblivion for stealing company property. I went home, completely devastated. It was December 24th, and I was unemployed. But the next week, I got a call from one of my old co-workers. He told me that immediately after I was escorted out, Richard had the IT team break into my company desktop. They found a backup folder labeled Apex Beta. Richard was thrilled. He immediately ordered them to deploy it across the entire company network, completely replacing the old system. What Richard didn't know was that the Apex Beta folder on my work computer was an early, incomplete version. Because I am paranoid, I had hard-coded a DRM, digital rights management, kill switch into the software. The system required a unique cryptographic key to ping my personal server every 30 days to verify the license. Since Richard essentially stole the software without a license key, the 30-day countdown had already started the moment they installed it. I didn't say a word. I didn't send an angry email. I just hired a very good intellectual property lawyer, showed him my time-stamped code logs from my home PC, and waited. Exactly 30 days later, on a busy Tuesday morning, the kill switch activated. Across the entire company, every dispatcher's screen locked up. A simple message popped up on all 200 monitors: unlicensed software. Please contact the developer. The entire logistics network froze. Trucks couldn't be dispatched. Shipments were lost. The warehouse backed up entirely. It was complete chaos. My phone started ringing off the hook. It was Richard. I let it go to voicemail. He left 8 messages, screaming, crying, begging, and threatening to have me arrested for hacking. My lawyer sent a formal cease and desist letter to his office by noon, stating they were illegally using proprietary software and demanding immediate compensation. Richard tried to get his IT team to roll back to the old system, but in his arrogance, he had ordered them to wipe the old servers to save space. They had no backup. His company was losing roughly $100,000 every single day they were offline. By day 4, Richard was desperate. Major clients were canceling their contracts. He finally agreed to meet with my lawyer. The demands were simple. He had to pay a $500,000 settlement for intellectual property theft, plus a $20,000 monthly licensing fee if he wanted the software unlocked. He had no choice. He signed the papers, shaking with rage. I gave them the key, and their system came back online. But the damage was already done. Because of the 4-day shutdown, they lost their 3 biggest shipping contracts. Updates: 6 months later, Richard's company couldn't recover from the financial hit and the massive settlement he had to pay me. The board of directors found out what he did, fired him, and stripped him of his shares. The company eventually filed for bankruptcy. Meanwhile, I used the $500,000 settlement to start my own software firm. I even hired a few of my old co-workers who had lost their jobs. Richard tried to sue me later for sabotage, but the judge threw the case out in 10 minutes. What do you guys think? Did I take it too far, or did Richard get exactly what he deserved?